Hey guys, this is going to be a review of the QiYi Warrior 7x7. The Warrior is QiYi's newest budget 7x7. Even though they haven't had the best recent releases when it comes to new big cube hardware, this cube makes up for all of it. Before going over the qualities of this cube, I should start by mentioning that this cube is only $18, making it $2 cheaper than the MeiLong, which was already extremely cheap for being a good magnetic 7x7. I will judge this cube compared to other 7x7s of all price ranges, but just know that this cube easily beats them all based on price. The Warrior measures at 62.5mm, which is 0.5 smaller than the MeiLong. The MeiLong size is the smallest that we've seen so far in a competition viable 7x7, and I feel like the size of the Warrior will be kind of polarizing for that reason. I think that the optimal size would be around 63.5 or 64mm, somewhere in between the MeiLong and the Alfu. I don't really like where companies seem to be going when making big cubes really small, like the QiYi being even smaller than this cube. But if you were using the MeiLong, I don't think the size of this cube will be an issue. They kept the slices at around the same width as the MeiLong and made the outer slightly smaller in order to achieve the smaller size. And I think that because of this, for me the cube feels easier to use than I expected, and I would say it's about the same as the MeiLong. The performance of the cube is also really good. It has a similar feeling plastic as other recent QiYi big cubes, but it doesn't have issues of too much friction like the X-Man releases do. The speed out of the box is decently fast, and you could easily make it more controllable or faster by using different lube setups. The cube also rarely pops, even on loose tension, so that's really nice to see too. The only issue I have with this cube is catching. The cube is quite catchy out of the box, but it goes away with break-in and lube. I think that the best setup would be Angstrom Gravitas and Dignitas for both speed and mitigating catching, but medium viscosity silicone lube also reduce catching a lot, like Pilube Blue 10K or Traxxas 10K. After around 200 solves, I would say that the cube is still a little more catchy than an Alfu WRM, but not as catchy as a modded MeiLong. Now for some other interesting things to note about this cube. This cube has magnets that attract between the feet on the midges and the feet on the wings. The fact that this is in a budget cube that costs $18 is crazy to me, especially considering that the Alfu V5 charges $15 just to add this feature on top of the expensive price tag to begin with. More on this in a future video. I can't really speak on how much these magnets actually help since I haven't tried the cube without them, but I will say that the magnet strength overall feels really balanced. I never have issues with layers turning when I don't intend to, but also the magnets in the inner layers don't feel really strong like they do on some other cubes. I also added core magnets to this cube. Interestingly, the corners already have slots for corner magnets, so you just have to add a ball core and glue magnets into the corners. The core fits the same ball core as the Alshi, so if you want to do this for your cube, you can just use my Alshi file and put 3x3 magnets in the corners. You also have to trim the torpedoes a bit to use 3x3 magnets, but I think it's better because of the stronger strength. QiYi also mentioned in a post that they might be mass producing a version of this cube with core magnets from the factory, so you could also just wait for that. If you follow mods I do in other big cubes, you might know about how the MeiLong 7x7 needs plastic washers to prevent the centers from breaking. Unfortunately, this cube seems to have the same issue, but it doesn't seem to be as severe. The only side I can really notice it on is the green side, which accumulated a lot of plastic dust, but it doesn't seem to be as much as you would expect in a MeiLong. On the green side, although there's visible dust, the damage to the center doesn't seem to be as much as you'd expect from a MeiLong with this amount of solves. I'll probably figure out a solution for this soon, but I also wouldn't worry that much about it compared to the MeiLong because of this. Overall, for just $18, the new QiYi Warrior 7x7 is a really good cube that you should definitely consider. If you're looking to recommend a beginner a budget 7x7, I would recommend this without a doubt just because it's cheaper than the MeiLong, better in my opinion, but also definitely better out of the box. No fluorine modding necessary. The cube overall just feels more polished too. It does UV coating, which doesn't change the performance, but it's just cool to see on the big cube. The plastic also just feels kind of more rounded and higher quality compared to other budget cubes, so it's kind of nice to do solves on. At this point, I'm pretty sure that this cube's going to be my main. Even if it's not, I still really enjoy just doing turns on it and solving. I'll have to see how well the cube performs in competition, but for now I'm really enjoying doing solves on it at home. I'm already averaging as fast as I was on my previous main. But that'll be about it for this video. If you have any other questions about this cube, then feel free to ask in the comments. I might make a future video about how to mod it, since it seems like this cube could benefit from some mods, although it's not as important as other cubes like the MeiLong. But yeah, hopefully this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.